everybody in this room, whether you're a business owner. If you're a business owner, what I'm about to teach you is going to show you how you get a massive step change in your existing business by leveraging the internet better. If you're a frustrated employee like I was, I'm going to show you how you could just get out the rat race like I did and go on and make millions and have a complete change in your life. You might already be an entrepreneur and you might have some great ideas, but you just struggle with the implementation of them and actually getting them into practice. You might just be someone that's got a job, maybe you quite enjoy your job, but you're just looking for an extra income, something you can do part-time to make some extra money. Or you might just be someone who's in between jobs, maybe you're a student and you haven't actually got some income now, so you're looking for something to get you some income. So here's some examples of some of the people I've taught how to do this. This is a guy called Phil, and Phil came on my training course. He had a website that wasn't making him much money, and using what I've taught him, he's now got a website that's making over £100,000 a month. This is another one of my students. This is a guy called Rick. Rick, are you in the room? He's over here. Here's Rick. He's a real person. Look, so give Rick a round of applause. So Rick actually was a fireman, and he was interested in making money on the internet. And I'll let you into a little secret. Rick actually is the drummer in my band. And one day after band practice, he called me to one side and said, what is it you're doing on the internet? Because you're not going to work anymore, and you've got like a new Porsche and a new Range Rover, and you seem to have all this money. Do you think you could show me? And I said, well, you see, the thing is, Rick, you are a drummer. I'm not sure if I can show you. But anyway, I sat down with him for a few hours and showed him my business model of basically finding a subject that people want to know information about, creating a product, and then setting up a simple website, drive traffic to the website, and convert the traffic to money. So Rick did a guide on becoming a fireman, because that was the obvious thing to do, because he was a fireman, okay? So Rick did an ebook on how to become a fireman, put up a simple web page, started selling it, started making lots of money. So what do you think Rick did next? Any ideas? Well, resigning's a good idea, but I'll let you into a little secret. Rick's a bit tight. Sorry, Rick. So Rick actually waited till he'd made £1 million from his website before he resigned. So he has resigned now, but he waited till he got $1 million because he wasn't sure if this internet thing was going to last, okay? But before he resigned, what he did was, he did a few more of these things. Just like I did with the prophecy guides, I repeated the formula. Rick repeated the formula with career guides. So Rick then did how to become a policeman, how to become a paramedic, how to join the army, how to join the Navy. So obviously he didn't know about all of these other jobs, so what did he do? He found someone who was an expert in those jobs, and he tapped into the knowledge. So being a fireman, do you think he gets to meet paramedics and policemen all day long? Yeah, goes with the territory, doesn't it? So he knew people who had those skills, so he could work with those people to help him create a guide on becoming a policeman and how to become a paramedic. Before he joined the fire brigade, Rick was in the Navy for a couple of years, so he could write a guide on getting in the Navy, and then he also knew lots of other firemen that were ex-Army and ex-RAF, so he could do career guides on how do you get into the Army and how do you get into the RAF. So Rick has now made over £2 million from this business. Give Rick a round of applause for that, £2 million. So what that means is two things. One is we are the richest tribute band in the world, because 50% of the members are millionaires, which is nice. But also it means that we both have a great freedom and lifestyle to do what we want to do, and we can do music and just have a lot of fun with it. And you'll also notice on that slide that it says HSBC Startup Stars winner. Rick actually entered his company into the HSBC Bank Entrepreneur of the Year award and went and bloody won it, which I was particularly fed up about because he won it using what I taught him. But hey, well done, Rick. Congratulations. Okay, let's look at some other ones. Thierry, are you in the room? Can we see Thierry? He was here yesterday. You've missed the boat. Maybe you're too late for this internet bandwagon. Well, online sales are still increasing at a huge rate, and they're expected to double again in the next 2 years. Next reason you might, or the next myth around this is it's complicated. It's actually getting easier and easier all the time, okay? There are so many tools now and bits of software you can use to make this stuff easier. If you just got basic PC skills, if you can use emails, you can use Google to search for stuff, and you can use cut and paste, that's all the skills that you need. You don't need any techie skills. You don't need to learn how to do programming or anything like that. Next one is push button magic. Now I've bought bits of software that claim to be the magic pill. They really are. So there is a myth that you just buy something and press a button and it works. Often I meet people who've tried that sort of thing and it hasn't worked and they've lost heart in internet marketing completely. Well, you shouldn't do that. You should just look at a different system and look at something that is going to work. And another common one is I don't have the time. Well, I've already told you about Rick, who waited till he had made £1 million from his part-time business before he gave up the day job. So if he can hold down a full-time job as a fireman and make £1 million, I'm sure you could start something too in your spare time, yeah? Just stop watching EastEnders and that kind of stuff and just spend a couple of hours a week. You might be thinking, it's a bit risky, isn't it, this internet thing? Well, unlike in our parents' day, you know, when my dad actually had a business, and that meant he had to take premises and have stock and employ staff and, you know, sign up for a 5-year lease on stuff. So it required bank loans to get started, literally tens of thousands of pounds to start most kinds of businesses in yesteryear. But these days, it's so easy to get started, and there's next to no risk. You can start on a complete shoestring. You could actually start affiliate marketing with zero capital investment because you're driving traffic to someone else's website, so you don't even need your own website. And you can drive traffic using free sources, and we'll talk about some of those later, but things like YouTube and Facebook are great sources of free traffic which you can drive to your sites. You might be thinking you don't believe you can make money online. Well, hopefully the photos that I've already showed you are a very vivid living proof that you can make money online. You might think it costs too much. Well, I've already said you can start for nothing. A domain name will only cost you about £2.95. Hosting's a couple of quid a month. So you can literally start a business with your own website for less than a tenner. So there's not many businesses in the world that you can start for such a small capital investment. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about this last one, because this is probably something that held me back, because I worked in the corporate world for 14 years before I branched out on my own. And this was probably all my mum's fault, because she's probably one of the most negative people I've ever met. And some of you might have parents like that or partners like that whatever you say, they go, oh yeah, but. And they've always got some, you know, other side of the coin. They're always like naysaying, pessimistic. And I had listened to those people for too long. And I'd advise you not to listen to those people. Be really wary who you take advice from. I'm all for taking advice from people that know more than me. You know, when I went to Necker Island, do you think I could learn a lot from Richard Branson? Yeah, hugely more successful than I could ever dream of being. So he's got a lot of knowledge he can impart. But would I take advice from someone who's a road sweeper, and that's all they've done all their life, about running businesses? Not really, because they haven't got the skills. So just bear in mind when you're taking advice from people, how qualified are they to give you that advice? And don't take too much notice if they're not really qualified to give you that advice. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you now about these 3 steps. Remember that diagram I showed you with 3 steps to making money online? There's the website, there's the traffic and conversion. So first of all, we're going to talk about the website and talk about things that you need on your website to make your website. Oh, he is here. He's over here. So Thierry's standing away. So give Thierry a round of applause. Thierry's another one of my students, and he's made over £50,000 from his website, and he actually started off selling tins of snail caviar on the internet. So a physical product, not an information product, not an ebook, but an actual real physical product. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never had any snail caviar. In fact, I've never had any fish caviar. Never really appealed, to be honest, fish eggs. But if that's your thing, then Thierry's your man, because this stuff is cheaper than fish caviar, and it tastes just as good, apparently. Other things you can do. Ben Brophy, is Ben in the room? Is Ben about? Ben's over here. Here's Ben. A round of applause for Ben. So Ben is another one of my students, and he's actually a personal friend with the Radio 1 DJ, or ex-Radio 1 DJ, Danny Rempling, that some of you might have heard of. So Ben came on my course and actually decided that he knew someone who had a skill that he could turn into a product. So Ben sat down with Danny Rempling and wrote a guide on how to become a DJ. And they created an ebook on becoming a DJ, and they've now got a mainstream publishing deal off the back of the success with selling an online product. So they started with an online book, and then they got a major publishing deal and actually relaunched Danny Rempling's career, all off the back of the internet. Another student of mine is Mark. Now, Mark's not here. I believe his son might be in the room. Mark's actually out in Dubai at the moment. But Mark came on my course actually after he saw me speak at the O2 event.